Okay, welcome class. So let's continue, okay? Before lunch break, I just said, because thanks to Buriram AR 2002 framework that, makes, research studies in intercultural more feasible. As I said, the first element he includes is attitudes. And as Zah just said, attitude is very important because if the attitude is negative, then people are not curious to learn anything anymore. That's why we need to make sure that positive attitude is instilled at the very beginning. But that's not enough because after the attitude, then we will be willing to learn more about that culture, right? And also try to interpret, what does it mean to do this and what does it mean to do that? Again, the fourth one, the students need to learn how to interact using that culture without, feeling bad or inhibited. And the last one, they need to know to make critical connection, why is that so and so and so in this particular culture. So let's take a look at this framework in detail. The first one, attitude, right? Buriram used this one as the top priority because he said in order to instill intercultural attitude, there are three keywords that he needs to have. The first one is having openness, right? As I said, some people might enjoy going to Singapore and some people might not enjoy going to Singapore. But you know what? If people that have kind of openness toward other cultures and try to understand what Auntie says, then I'm sure that their stay in Singapore will be a very, very pleasant one. So we need to make sure that our students are open for culture, whether, Western culture, Oriental cultures, but if they are welcome, they are open to accept it. I think that's a good start. Number two, to make sure that they avoid stereotypes. I think this is very hard and it's challenging because people tend to stereotype all the time without being consciously doing it, right? And stereotypes comes along with prejudice. As I mentioned in this morning, right, that if I go to the bank, with in shorts and t-shirt, the bank tellers, might not pay attention to me because they assume that, oh, with this look, with a backpack, t-shirt and shorts, I shouldn't have that much money. But because the manager knows me, so I don't have to wait in line. The managers always said, Ajahn Khan, you can take a seat here. And I said, why? Because you are our VIP. So I don't need to be in line at all. And people tend to, justify or prejudice because of the appearance, right? That's why Thai people are in that direction. The third one that Buriram includes is showing curiosity, right? So openness without prejudice, and then will make students curious to know more about that culture. So how can we motivate them in that direction to make sure that they share their positive attitude? How? This is the strategies that Buriram said. One, we can ask students to show their own native language, right? For example, Zah just said something, like good morning in his language. But in order to make sure that, well, cultural exchange is taking place, the students can ask, how about your own language too? Because in Burmese, we're Mingalaba, right? In Chinese, we're Ni Hao, or Zhao An, or whatever it is. So I think it's good to know that at least, give them a chance to express ability in their own language as well. Or eating habit. We know that Thai people use spoon and fork, but when you go to America, there are about 7 spoons and 7 forks, and in particular order. We don't know what to start or when to start even, right? So these are the things, that prompt them to be curious and open to other cultures as well. Now, the second one is knowledge. Knowledge is learning more about the target culture. The knowledge about food, greeting, and festivals, and other foreign cultures as well. So in this class, this is really multicultural class. So we are eager to learn about your culture. For example, learning about greetings and festival, right? How to celebrate Chinese New Year's Day. And it's just particularly today, it's Chinese New Year's Day. So I think Yili Wang can share with us in a few minutes, right? So I'm going to ask Yili Wang to share with us, how you celebrate Chinese New Year's Day at your place. Well, I have heard many people saying that, if you want to see how Chinese New Year's Day is celebrated, don't go to China. That's what I was told. They said, don't go to China, but go to Bangkok, especially the Chinatown area. Why? Any idea why? Why? If you want to see how the Chinese New Year's Day is celebrated authentically, why should we come to Thailand, not China? Any suggestions, any ideas? Why?
So I think in Thailand, we have, I say, a big Chinese community, and like us in Myanmar.
Right. Oh, it's right, because in the old days, there are many, migrations, waves of migrations of Chinese people who came and settled in Thailand. And that time was before Cultural Revolution in China. I'm not saying it's bad or good, but because these people came from mainland China and they try to maintain their heritage. So they'll do exactly what the people do in the old days. But when I went to China myself, I found that, they still celebrate, but the celebration is not in big scale compared with that in Thailand. But anyhow, I was in Tianjin and, in Beijing area. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. So now here today, we want to hear from Yi Wang, about how Chinese New Year's Day celebrate in the northeastern part of China. Okay, please share with us then. And then after that, we will try to observe what they do in China and what they do in Thailand and what they do in Myanmar. I don't think Cameroon will celebrate Chinese New Year's Day, right? I don't think so. Okay, Yi Wang, please.
Yeah, and for the Chinese New Year, and we'll just buy new clothes for our children and also buy some present for our parents. And then we'll also give the kids some red pocket, or we call it lucky money, red pocket. Put a red pocket in a lucky, yeah, here, red pocket, yeah, and money, yeah. We'll just give it to our children, yeah, and then we'll just put the couplet on the door, couplet, and also the Chinese character fu, yeah, fu means happiness, yeah, happiness, fu, yeah, and on the we'll just stamp the Chinese character fu on the door, a big Chinese character on the door and on the window, and then we also hung the lanterns here on the lanterns on the door, the two sides, right, the lanterns, yeah, and we also maybe red color is lucky. It means lucky in China, and so on the Chinese New Year's Day, we'll just wear some very bright color clothes to celebrate the New Year, yeah. And for the dinner at noon on the Chinese New Year's, we'll just have a big meal, a big dinner. We'll just cook so many dishes and enjoy it. And in the midnight, we also have a meal in the midnight about 11 or 12 o'clock. And the traditional food on the Chinese New Year's Day is dumpling, 饺子. In northeast China, because we can see that the food dumpling 饺子 is important typical food, maybe especially for the important days, we'll just eat 饺子. It is a traditional food, and I think if I go to Thailand, I can cook the dumpling for my teachers and classmates. Yeah, I can just do it, dumpling. And another thing is about the firecrackers. And before each meal, we'll just fire the firecrackers. But in our city, because it is not a big city and the northeast part of China is not so developed, and so in our city, we are allowed to fire the firecrackers. But in some Western cities, because we can see that the firecrackers maybe will pollute the air, and so the government will just prohibit it. But in our city, maybe we are lucky enough. Can you hear the outside, the firecrackers? Yeah, and in the evening, we also will just we can just fire the fireworks. It is very beautiful, yeah, to celebrate the Chinese New Year. Okay, that's all about maybe the tradition. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's what the Chinese is doing in her hometown. How about Ong? In how do the people in Myanmar celebrate Chinese New Year's Day?
So in Myanmar, our New Year Day is in April, but in Myanmar it is called the Gu. This is the very first month of Myanmar year. It is based on this lunar calendar. Is based on the moon.
So excuse me, so in Myanmar, do you celebrate Chinese New Year's Day? No.
Oh, sorry,
not
no.
Chinese New Year's Day.
I mean New Year, right?
Yeah, but not Chinese New Year's Day, right?
Oh yeah, so some community, Chinese community, they celebrate Chinese New Year today.
I see. Okay, and do they do the same that just Yili Wang just described? Is it the same?
It's not totally the same. We have some variations, but actually, frankly to speak, I don't know much about. But what I'm sure is that, but it's not totally the same as like Yuli Won mentioned. Maybe they have some variations or something like that.
You know what? When I grew up, as I said, in a Chinese family, my mom and dad told me that it's a 3-day celebration for New Year's Day. It's a 3-day. The first day is a shopping day. You're supposed to shop and exchanging gifts with your neighbors. That's a shopping day. The second day is, ceremony day. You perform a lot of ceremonies, especially, to the passed away, the ones who passed away in God. And the third day, you're not supposed to do anything, even, sweeping the floor. You are not supposed to touch the mop. You're not supposed to clean the house on that day, because it's supposed to be the first day of the new year. So you're supposed to eat and sleep and no work at all. No bad language, no fighting, no argument, no, just eat and sleep. And they are very strict. You are not supposed to clean the floor or do anything like that. You're not supposed to work. That's a very extreme one. But of course, things changes now too. But there are still many families who believe in that and follow the 3-day tradition. So it's 3 days in a row. And ang pao, right? The red package should be given away on the 3rd day, right? Anyway, so that's how the Chinese New Year's Day, right? See, so the first thing you said, right? So Yili Wang shared with us, and then we share what we do in Thailand, and then we learn about each other, right? So this is how we do it. Now let's move on to so now we know that we have the knowledge about Chinese New Year's Day shared by Yili Wang. Now look at the third one that Buriram proposed, right? It's the skills of interpreting and relating. Now, what does it mean by interpreting and relating? See that Buriram doesn't stop there, because knowing the knowledge, but you don't know anything about culture, it's not knowing the culture, because knowing the culture is more than that, right? So he says, in order to foster understanding, then this is what should be done. 1, make an explanation of events and behaviors. Now, what does it mean by an explanation of events? For example, why red, not other colors? And I think Yili Wang already said that, because red is a color of, prosperity, happiness, and good luck. Again, that's a culture because in China, red means good luck. Again, but in probably America, red means what? Not good luck. Red means what in America? On Valentine's Day, red means what? Red means love, right? So that's another culture, right? That Chinese red means what? Good luck, prosperity. But in America, maybe red means what? Love. Okay? As we say, no, like Valentine's got to be red rose, right? So now Yili Wang has already offered explanation of events, right? She also said, we got to have the character of Fu on the door. Why? Why on the door? And why Fu? Why not other characters, but got to be Fu only, right? And why do they have dinner at midnight? This is something that Yi Wang had. Why dinner at midnight? Yi Wang.
In Chinese, we just say it 守岁. 岁 here means year and means we are waiting for the arrival of the new year.
Oh, that's interesting. So they decided to eat at midnight because the midnight is a transition of one day and the next day tomorrow, right? So they try to make sure that this product, I think the prosperity and happiness gets carried over from this year to the next year. So they will have abundance to eat and a lot to spend in the coming year, right? Are you guys going to eat tonight at midnight? Tomorrow you get fat. Definitely, that's one thing for sure.
Sure.
Okay, so yeah. So see that's how my family, we didn't go that far because I don't know, but we didn't have the meal at midnight. I think because everyone was sleepy now, so just go to bed. But we didn't have a meal at midnight. Okay. So for example, right, the next one is be a bit sensitive issue. I said, that on the news, right? We try to connect to the news if possible, right? Right now, Prince Harry of England, he has written a book called Memoir, and he wrote a memoir, and his book named Spare. Okay. I haven't read the book yet, but in a nutshell, this book is something not nice about his dad, something not nice about his brother, right? Now, let us make connections then. Is this our culture, Myanmar culture, Thai culture, Chinese culture, or Cameroon culture for someone to write a book, criticizing your own father or your own brother? Is that so? Okay, how about Kumwanchana? What do you think? Nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with politics. Kumwanchana, you want to say something?
Yes,
is that
yes, Professor.
Yeah.
In Thai tradition, personally, to give some criticize about family or anyone in your own family, it will be happen. It won't be happen in Thai culture.
Why?
Because we normally pay respect to the older people, and especially people from our family. So we should do that.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
good
it.
job. Thank you. Right. How about Ong then from Myanmar? Will this happen at all in Myanmar?
As far as I'm concerned, I haven't had it, and so right now I have no idea, Professor.
Yeah. Okay. I know you might feel a bit stiff about this. How about any Thai student? Oh no. How about Yi Wang? Will this happen in China? When you write a book, complaining about your own dad and mom and your brothers and sisters?
No, because it is a virtue for Chinese to respect the elder and protect the younger.
Okay. Okay. How about in Cameroon? You see there?
Well, in Cameroon, we have a proverb that you don't bite the finger that once fed you. So it is very awful to criticize your parents or siblings, because at one moment in time, they really took a great care about you.
Wow, that's very sweet. What you just said, you know, don't bite the little finger that feed you. I think that's a very nice, you know, saying of, you know, teaching people how to be grateful, right? And it's, I mean, that's a very nice culture of Cameroon, because you said little finger, even though, you know, the whole hand feed your mouth, but even little finger, you need to be careful not to hurt them, because at least they are your family members. Okay, that's very interesting, right? Yeah, I'm not saying that I agree or I agree, but I think this is the cultural thing that normally we don't, you know, hurt your own family members. We don't ภาษาไทยเรียกว่าเราไม่ทุบหม้อข้าวตัวเองนะคะเราไม่ทุบหม้อข้าวตัวเองนะคะเพราะว่า we don't destroy our own family and we don't want anyone to destroy our family too. So if it's going to happen, it should happen by somebody else, but not someone in the family. Okay, but it's interesting. Now, the last one, you see that in order to sharpen the skills of interpreting and relating, we should be able to compare what Yiliwang says and with your own culture. For example, in my house, we don't eat, you know, dumplings anymore. I never have dumplings in my house. I never, and I don't think, you know, Chinese in Thailand have dumplings nowadays either. But, you know, for example, Yiliwang, why dumpling? Why dumpling? I think I'm more interested in that. Why dumpling and not other food? Why?
Because the pronunciation of the word dumpling, 饺子, just means good luck. Good luck.
Okay, thank you. See, we try to make connection between dumpling, with something else, but then Yiliwang gave us another perspective, which is very interesting. It has to do with the sound of 饺子. Right, 饺子, and the sound, you know, conveys a very positive meaning. So that's interesting. So the Chinese people have something a lot to do with the language more than the Thai language even. Okay, that's interesting. So we don't eat, you know, but just a few minutes ago, our neighbor dropped by, and our neighbor offered us, you know, oranges. And my sister said, no, give us only 4 oranges. He brought 7 oranges. And my sister said, no, just give us 4, 6, or 2. So I asked my sister, why 2, why 4, and why 6? But he had 7 in his hand. And my sister said that according to the Chinese tradition at my place, we would like to have things in pairs only. Don't give 3 oranges, 5 oranges, or 7. So my neighbor took back the oranges, and he left us only 4 oranges. You know, see, so Yiling came up with, you know, linguistic connotation because of the sound of 饺子. But for my family, we think about that life is a pair. You have a life partner, it means you can live happily, right? And that's what we believe, that the Chinese people that believe that getting married, when we send a card, there are 2 swans. ต้องมีหงส์ 2 ตัว, there are 2 swans. I said, why 2 swans? Because this is the couple life, and you should live together until the end of the world. Okay, interesting, right? Now let's move on to the next one. Right, the next one is skills of discovery and interaction. Because we try to integrate language with intercultural communication. Therefore, interaction is very, very imperative, right? How can we interact then? We might ask, you know, students to communicate with classmates, right? Where they are from and what do they do at home. What I share with you is what I do at my home. But I'm sure that if my friends live in the North, or if they are from another ethnic group, they may have their own way of celebrating their Christmas or New Year's days as well. I think the last one is very interesting. We don't want the students to, you know, stop in the classroom. We want them to grow up to be a very quality citizen of the culture. And that's why we'd like them to go and interact with the local people, right? For example, Ajahn Ek, you guys are from Isan, and Isan has pla som. To be honest with you, I don't know exactly what pla som is, right? So it's good for me to go to the market and interact with the local people and ask them, what this fish is, pla som. But you know what? For Sa, who just came to live in Thailand, pla som might have I give you an idea that a fish and an orange. How can they be together? But this refers to the taste of the fish, which is fermented, right? Am I right? Am I still okay? Right. So it's a fish and fermented fish. And that's why they call pla som. It's nothing to do with the fish and an orange. So a good chance is, to let your students go and explore by spending time with the local people to get more ideas how they celebrate particular celebration there, right? Now, the last one that Buriram said, the students should have critical cultural awareness. Now, this is the last skill, and it's a skill that connected to the 21st century. And we are encouraged to instill in our students that the students in this generation should have critical thinking ability. Now, what does it mean then? It means an ability to evaluate critically. Okay. Now, this is important, to evaluate critically on the basis of explicit criteria, perspectives, and practices, right? Now, what does it mean by doing this then, right? So we're trying to make sure that the students come to class without prejudice. And they need to analyze, for example, the accounts that Yili Wang gave us, shared with us on Chinese New Year's Day, which is very interesting. They eat jiaozi, and they eat jiaozi at midnight, and they have food character on the door. These are something that maybe they might have some critical evaluation after that. Why on the door? Why not somewhere else? Why the door? Okay, why the door? Yili Wang, why on the door, but not something else? Yili Wang, please.
Maybe it is we can just discover it easily. It is apparently.
Okay. Well, to me, I think the character fu on the door. Why? Because the door is the gateway. We believe that good luck comes in through the door. Bad luck comes in through the door too. So the door is a gate. It's something that everything has to go through. So if you put the character fu on the door, this character will play, or suppress anything bad, and then let anything good come in. That's why I think it has its own strategy. And this is, it's because it's critical cultural awareness. There is no right and wrong answer. But we want people to think, what is going on behind those practices. I'm sure that, Thai people have ways to explain things, why we have to license sticks. Why 3 license sticks? Because it refers to Phra Phut Phra Tham Phra Song, for example. So they try to come up with reasons, right, to justify their practice. And I think that is becoming more fascinating when we find that, okay, people can be very creative to justify their own practices as well, right? Now, the next part, I asked you to come up with your lunchtime, right? What is the topic? For example, why do Chinese people make loud noise when eating? Right? And it's still true, they make loud noise. Why they are yelling at dinner table, which actually they are talking, right? It could be a culture shock, for an American to be among Chinese people who are chit-chatting and happily enjoying the meal. And Americans feel very, frustrated. Why? Because everyone is shouting at the same time. Is that true, Yili Wang? That at the dinner table, the Chinese people, they are talking at the same time. Not only one person is doing the talking. Is that true?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
thank
true, and especially for the men, they are drinking, and maybe the meal will last about 2 or 4 hours.
So Yili Wang added that, you know, right, the Chinese people can be very loud and noisy, especially when the guys getting together and getting drunk, right? Now, this can be a shocking experience for an American who finally be among Chinese people and ending up what? He couldn't say anything. Why? Why? Because according to American tradition, what happens there? As a table manner, right? Only one person talks at a time. You understand what I say, right? In American culture, only one person talks at a time. If I talk, you guys quiet. If you talk, I am quiet, no matter who you are. And that's why Americans find, you know, very perplexing or vexing to see the Chinese people. 10 of them are talking at the same time at a loud voice as well, right? Next, why do Thai people avoid face-to-face confrontation? Well, we mentioned that this morning. So this is about cultural time. Now the answer is why? Why Thai people are not brave? No, because it's a matter of courtesy that we have to save the face of someone who is superior, right? And we try to find some strategies to get your ideas across. So these are the two scenarios that I want to think about. I don't know what you come up with, and I will ask you in a minute. Just to give you an idea, for example, if you are a teacher in a class, and you have to think about the theme first, right? These are the themes that can lead to intercultural communication or misunderstanding even, right? For example, how to greet each other. We talk a lot about this morning, so this is not the one that we are interested in anymore. But the next one, how to celebrate moving to a new house, right? We know that in order to celebrate moving to a new house in Thailand, we do something. We have particular food, we perform ceremony and certain ceremonies only, right? How about then in next one, how to celebrate the Spring Festival? This is going to be in China now, the Spring Festival. And how to celebrate the Fall Water Festival. And how to welcome a newborn baby, right? The last one, newborn, is called baby shower in America or in English, right? Baby shower. Now, you have to teach the students because the lessons mention something that, you know, welcoming a newborn baby, or the lessons has something to say about Spring Festival. Or in the lessons that you covered is something, someone moving to a new house. So now you can see that as a teacher, you can expand the students' horizon by doing something along with the topic. If the lesson topic is moving to a new house, okay, let's do about culture part. In America, what do you do when someone moving to a new house? Or what do you do when someone has a newborn baby? Like that. Okay, now at this point, I would like to get back to you and ask you, you know, what do you come up with then? My 8 students, which is now probably 7 because one couldn't make it. What will be your topic then that you think will trigger about cultural intercommunication? Yeah. Anyone? Someone could go ahead, if you have any idea. This is the lunchtime homework. Any idea yet? Or anyone? I don't want to call upon anyone. วันนี้คุณยุทธจักร you are quiet นะคะคุณยุทธจักร go ahead ค่ะ
Professor. Yes, for the themes of how to greet each other, right? Yes, if our in classroom, if we have many foreign students, so we can greet them in the lingua franca first for English actually. So good morning or hi, how are you today, something. And then if we somehow, or if we have another topic between Western and Eastern students, so we have like show their different one to greet each other, to show the example. For example, for the Western student, though maybe they can shake hand or like to say hi, and for the Eastern students, so maybe we can have a different one. For maybe for Japanese have to bow your head, and then for Thai people have to why, something like this for the greet each other. So that's in my opinion, point of view. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Right. How about the next one? Hopefully not greeting anymore. Sa, are you ready to share?
Good
Or
afternoon.
anybody? Yeah.
Professor, good afternoon. Sorry,ครับ.
Ha. Ha.
Okay,
เชิญค่ะ
so sorry. I'm having the Chinese New Year's party in my house. That's why I'm visiting and say hi to you.
Okay, well, enjoy your time. People
Yes,
are
thank you.
celebrating Chinese New Year's Day everywhere. You should be happy to hear that, huh? Okay ค่ะคุณผู้ชม Happy New Year 新年快乐ค่ะ
ครับขอบคุณครับ สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ Azza, how about that? Any idea?
Or moving to a new house.
Aha. And we want to hear more about that. Then what do you do when you move into a new house in your country? I hope it's something quite interesting, right? Okay, you want to share with us now then, so that the others can prepare their answers.
Okay, thank you, Professor, for the opportunity. So in my country, and specifically in my tribe, because Cameroon is a country with a lot of linguistic diversity and culture. Yes, so I will be very specific to my own area. So when it comes to the celebrating a new house, you have to invite some certain family members, and it is done depending on your religious background. If you are a Christian or a traditionalist, so it is different as to your belief. Yes, because you can be a Christian, you can be a traditionalist. Okay, if you are a traditionalist, for example, you just need to call the fund or the head of the village and the family head. You prepare some drinks, and particularly there are some particular items that you need to buy, like kola nuts, like white wine which is coming from the raffia palm. Yes, then you cook the traditional meal, which is nangtari. We call it nangtari. It is porridge cocoyam in English. Yes, and then with meat, then the people will come together. They do some incantations, and then they will give you people food. And definitely the best way to eat the food is in the bowls and stuff like that. That's from the traditional perspective. Yes, thank you.
Okay,
So
thank you. That's interesting.
Okay, thank you.
No, go ahead. You want to say something? Sorry for interrupting you.
Yes, okay. Because I was trying to explain from the two perspectives. That is, one perspective is the traditional, and the other perspective is from the Christian perspective. So if you are a Christian, then you can involve the pastor of your church that you fellowship. So the pastor will come, pray, and stuff like that. So it is, or if you want to celebrate it both, it's possible, because you can be a cultural person and still be a Christian, because culture is not like you should totally be against Christianity. Culture is culture, and religion is religion, which is still part of religion, is really part of culture. So that's it. So the only difference is that you need to bring in a man of God or a pastor to come and preside over the opening of the house. Thank you.
Thank you. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, how about Myanmar? Anything? Any theme right now or Yili Wang? Anyone?
No, right now, Professor.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
In China, and
Okay.
the owner of the house will just find a good day to move into the new house, and the owner will just buy a fish, a big fish.
Ah,
Yeah, because in China, fish just means the actual money, the enough money, and it means that you will have enough money to spend. And so in Chinese, we just say 年年有余, and here 鱼 just means fish. The same pronunciation of the two words, but different thing. Yeah.
okay. Interesting. How about in Myanmar? Moving to a new house or something else?
So the first priority is when I say to carry and put the Buddha image in the shrine and invite. When I say we offer foods and something to the monk and Buddha, and then for lay people, for laymen. So we invited the other or older person, or something like that, and so we celebrate. I think the first priority is that. So in a beautiful, systematic shrine room, we when I say offer food or something to Buddha. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Actually, according to the description, quite similar to the Thai way of moving to a house, involving the monks, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, religious ceremony for Thai people. Okay, thank you. Anyway, keep your theme in mind because you need to go into that another level with your theme. I want you to focus on one, It doesn't have to be on the list here. You can think about anything which is relevant to your culture and something that will be interesting for us to hear. Okay, now the next step is, if I am a teacher, and I am anyway, and today I asked you to read an article. I asked my students to read an article, and I find an expression, go Dutch. Now, I know that go Dutch, it's an expression that I'm sure you know the answers, right? Okay, let's go to have a drink tonight. Then, no, don't worry. We will go Dutch. We'll go Dutch. We know expression then. But I think somebody told me that in China, what is it? Really wrong.
In China, we seldom go Dutch, and maybe for us, and if I just invite my my colleague or my friends to have a dinner, and I will pay for it, and it means just who just maybe suggest to have a dinner, who will just pay the bill. Yeah.
I read from many sources that in China, you use this expression like AA, which is the same as go Dutch. No, you don't do that anymore?
No.
I read from many websites and they say AA in China means go Dutch. Anyway, now, if there is a English lesson about go Dutch, I think this is a good place to start, exploring intercultural communication. Okay, why? Because go Dutch, as you can see, that it's not Thai culture to begin with. Is it Myanmar culture to begin with? Yes or no?
So I think we have the same idea, like Yuli one, the person who initiated the event or who asked for to go somewhere and to have something is his or her treat.
Oh, really? I don't know. I think in Thailand, Thai people would be a little bit hesitant. If we say, if you invite someone and then finally you say, let's go Dutch, it will be a very uncomfortable situation. right? Because usually, yeah, you are right. When you invite someone to have dinner, you are supposed to be the one to pay for the whole thing, right? You don't split the bill. Okay, how about Azar in Cameroon? Is this something common in Cameroon?
No, it is very uncommon. Excuse me. It is very uncommon in Cameroon to share the bill. Just like Mr. Ong already said, when you invite someone, bill on you, the inviter.
Okay, so more or less, but how about in this situation, you know, like, okay, if you want to teach expression Go Dutch, how can we take it from there? And how can we let the students explore intercultural communication competence then? This is the way I would suggest them, right? Go Dutch, that's a new expression for the students, right? To mean to split the bill. First of all, these are the stages that I will go through. And I think that it could be turned into your research project if you are interested in it. First of all, if you have the word Go Dutch in your mind, this will apply to argue with them because I want to see how you proceed from your topic. At lunchtime, I asked you to come up with something that has to do with your cultural competence, right? One scenario or one situation. And I haven't asked you about that yet, but keep that in mind. Then think about how to explore that theme into, you know, intercultural competence. This is what I will do. The first one, I call this stage presentation. Now, presentation of what? I want to use the language to begin with. Why language? Because we are focusing on English language learning and integrating intercultural competence. So I said the word treat is a good word. Why good? Why treat is a good word for this? Why? Why treat is a good word? Because treat is used in many contexts, but one of the contexts, it means what? I will pay for you, right? That's the word treat. For example, I will treat you to the dinner tonight. I will treat you to the dinner tonight. So treat itself has many meanings. So in order to make sure that linguistic, you start from the language first, find something that will focus on going Dutch. So this case is called activate schemata. I'm using the expression now, okay? What I'm doing here is called activating cultural schemata. I'm sure you know the word schema. What is schema or schemata? What is it? Any idea?
Is it prior knowledge?
Pardon?
Is it prior knowledge or something related to that?
We have, you know, a smart man here too, right? Thank you, Ong, right? Schema means background knowledge or prior knowledge. Now, what does it mean by that then? It means that every learner comes to class, not an empty head, right? They grow up and they have something in their head because of their parents teach them. They watch the movies and they have been outside the house, so they have their own schema. So this word, the word treat, is a good word to activate that schema. Why? Because the word treat has many meanings in different contexts, right? Treat doesn't mean that I will pay for you only, but it means something else. So I think the first stage, good. You got to enlarge their vocabulary repertoire. Why vocabulary before grammar, not grammar before vocabulary? Why? Tell me. Why vocabulary comes first and grammar comes later? Why vocabulary first? Why? Why grammar comes later, not vocabulary, but vocabulary should come first?
Okay.
Yes.
To me, I think vocabulary comes first before grammar because vocabulary is just about giving the meaning of a word. Why grammar is now looking at the meaning of a sentence which is made up of a group of words. So we must understand at least one word before we can be able to understand 2, 3, or more words.
Thank you, Azar. And
Thank
he
you.
is very right. Vocabulary is very meaningful. Okay, and minimal means meaningful semantically. Without vocabulary, you cannot communicate. Without grammar, you can communicate. Can you? Yeah, you can. Without grammar, I sit, go, eat, sleep, good night. Do I use any grammar? No grammar involved. It's just vocabulary. It's just only vocabulary. I go, sit, eat, drink, go to bed, sleep, good night. But do you think you understand what I said? Oh, you understand what I said. Because I said, yeah, you just go there and sit down here and then eat your meal. And then after your meal, you go home and then you sleep and then good night, right? So vocabulary is the most important element of the language. Without vocabulary, you cannot communicate. Grammar is here to supplement the vocabulary to make the meaning clearer, right? That's why vocabulary should come first. So once you explain, you introduce the word treat to your students. What else should you do with the word treat, right? Not only the meaning. Of course, you have to talk about pronunciation. That is, the word is treat. Then, again, you provide meanings here. You can see that one simple word of the word treat, in this case, can have 4 meanings. 4 different meanings. 1, to behave towards someone or deal with something. For example, he treated his wife very badly. That's one meaning. And this meaning has nothing to do with the expression go Dutch, right? No connection at all. But at least we prepare our students to know that treat is very meaningful and it has many meanings depending on the context. Number 2, to use drugs and exercise to cure a person. He is being treated for a rare skin disease. Again, this is a second meaning, but that's not the meaning that is connection with going Dutch. Number 3, I put your money away. I'm going to treat you to this. That's it. This is the one we are looking for. This is the meaning that has some connection with go Dutch. So if we say, I am going to treat you to this. So you see that? Treat, vocabulary, the meaning comes first. Grammar comes later. That if you want to use this one, treat like this, you have to say, to treat, object, someone, to something. I will treat you to dinner. I will treat you to the drink. I will treat you to the movie. So this is how we teach, right? Or I'm going to treat myself to a new pair of sandals. I just won the lottery. I'm going to treat myself to a new pair of sandals, right? And the last one, another meaning of treat. The material has been treated with resin to make it waterproof. So I think this is the best way to start. Start with vocabulary and make sure that pronunciation gets nailed down and the meaning in different contexts. That's exactly how we call vocabulary teaching, right? Next, what is the next one? Comparison activity, right? So after going Dutch, you can say that, what is the difference or with the similarities here? So this one, I have to switch to the theme. Greetings then, right? Like this morning, if you remember the video that you just watched, remember what you watched? Now, how do people in Japan greet each other? By what? What is the body language they use in order to greet each other? Remember this morning? What did they do? What did they do? They bow, right? They bow, right? They bow. But in other countries, like, Latin American countries, what do they do? If they are from Venezuela, what do? They don't bow. They don't bow. What do they do?
Shake hands.
Azar, go ahead.
I think shake hands.
It could be
think
shake hands in a
kiss.
very formal setting. Yeah, go ahead. Huh? Somebody say something? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I think they kiss each other by yeah
Cheeks, kiss their cheeks,
yeah
right?
by cheek.
Correct.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Right, exactly, Patanan, thank you. They kiss each other on the cheek. Now, the next question. If you remember this video this morning, do they kiss only one time? Do they kiss only one time? Do they kiss only once?
No, two.
No,
Because
No.
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 They kiss more than once. Sometimes, it could be 3 or 4. Really depends on how they feel about each other. If they are so attached, they will kiss more, left, right, left, like that. Okay, right. This morning, when you watch this video, remember the people in Alaska or Eskimos, how do they greet? Forehead?
Yeah, they touch forehead to forehead. Or nose.
Yep. Actually, not the head, but the
nose. Yeah.
nose, right? They use the nose, touching the nose each other, which is very cute. They use the nose. So you see that? You don't have to say good morning, but you just like that. And I know there must be an explanation, right? Because Eskimo, the weather is so cold. You don't want to put your hand, take out your hands from your pocket, right? So they use their nose. And that's how to warm your nose, right? Because usually the nose is the coolest part. And that's how they get warmer by nosing, right? So you see that? It's very interesting there. Now, what else can be done, right? After that, then you can do the pair work. You can ask them, to pair and exchange, their customs or their culture, right? So that they know each other better and they have the knowledge. So that's called the process called, comparing. Now, what else then? The third one, situation setting, right? We learned that language learning cannot be just, like it can be a project based, it can be a task based, right? And then in that case, the teacher can give them the situation so that they could do what? Role play. So give them the situation that this is the first time, the first day at school, the first day at the office, the first day at the company, and how you greet them, and how you greet someone who is higher than you, someone who is lower than you. Do you use the same greetings? Of course not, right? You don't say to your friend, สวัสดีค่ะคุณเพื่อน You don't do that, right? You say, hi, สวัสดีจ้า right? สวัสดีจ้า สวัสดีค่ะ right? You don't say good morning to everyone. Some people you say hi, some people you say hello, and some people you say, what's up, man? Right? Therefore, the situation has to be given, but the teacher has to be very specific. You need to determine the role of the two speakers. One is superior, one is inferior. Otherwise, the situation won't work. So that the students can use the right language with the right status, with the right situation. Okay. Now, this is what I said, like this morning, or actually just now, that these are the possible things to show cultural experience, intercultural communication. AA, say sorry, invite somebody. I think this is very interesting when somebody gets invited, right? I don't know about, how about in Thailand? If I say, come to have my dinner, come to have my dinner at 5 at my place. If I say, come to my place at 5 for dinner, what time would you come? Early, on time, or after?
I think it's Thai time, so it's come like after 5. Yeah, after 5 o'clock.
After 5, right? Okay, Patanan says after 5. Wanchanaล่ะคะ คุณ Wanchana, what do you think? What would you say? After 5 or at 5 or before 5?
For me, if I invited, I'm invited, I'm gonna be there before that time. But I agree with Patanan professor that Thai tradition after 5.
Okay. So Kumpatanan says after 5. Kumpatanan says usually he will close there before time. I think because my instructions are not clear. Because I said, I am inviting you to my party at 5 or to my house at 5. But I didn't say as what? As a friend, right? Or as a teacher, right? That means a lot because as a friend,คุณวัฒนะมาเลยค่ะ you can come at 3 ค่ะมานอนที่บ้านครูเลยค่ะเห็นไหมคะคุณวัฒนะ can come early because we are friends. He can just, come and play around, listen to the music during the time. But if it's a teacher,คุณวัฒนะ wouldn't come at 3 o'clock, right? Because he will feel, I don't have anything to do at the BB's teacher's house. So usually he might come, a little bit after 5, right? Okay, how about in Myanmar? If I am your friend and if I am your teacher and I invite you to come over to my place at 5, what time would you come?
So after 5. So
After 5 too?
as
Not
Professor
2
mentioned,
hours after 5,นะคะ?
so as a
Huh?
teacher, I
As a
think
teacher?
a little just after 5 is okay.
A little after 5. Okay, good. I will come back to you guys at why a little bit after 5. Why not before? Okay. Zah, how about in Cameroon?
I think it's the same. It's the same opinion with them.
Okay. Yili Wang, how about in China? If the
Maybe
teacher
just,
invites you to come to the, pardon?
just at 5 o'clock, we are punctual.
See, Yili Wang make it clear that we are very punctual. If she's invited at 5, she will be there at the doorstep at 5. Rosamond,
Yes, sir. I agree with Ili Wang. We have to be punctual as well. Should be at 5.
Okay. Now, see, and you see that even Thai people are different in that sense, right? Because there is no rule that you have to come before or after. But why, and Kun Vanchana and Kun P, Kun, what is the name again? Sorry, Kun Patanan. Yeah, Kun Patanan. Why you prefer to come a little bit after 5? Why? There is no right or wrong answer,นะคะ. Kun Vanchana ค่ะ or Kun Patanan ค่ะ. Well, if you come before 5, you will see me in a very uncomfortable clothes. I might be wearing a shorts ใส่กางเกงขาสั้นจูเลยนะคะ or might have a pin on my head like that. So I'm not physically ready to meet the guest, right? Because you are my guest. But if you are my friends, be my guest. Anyway, I don't care. But a teacher meeting a student, I should be look a little bit proper. So not wearing shorts, right? So normally we shouldn't go there before 5 because, this is the teacher-student relationship. But if it's a friends, as Kun Vachana said, be my guest at 3 o'clock. Or just, help yourself. You can sleep on the couch, no matter what, it doesn't matter. Right. So again, this is depending on the situation and the status or the connection between the speaker and invited or inviter too. Now the next one, right? Why do we have to pay attention to intercultural communication? We just hope that by doing this, then the students will not be, won't experience something called culture shock. I don't know what happens to Zah when you came to Thailand. Do you experience any culture shock? Zah?
Yes, I do experience some cultural shock.
Okay, yes. Good. So Thai people, stay tuned and be attentive. What caused him culture shock? Okay, go ahead, Sa.
Yes, the cultural shock was that I went to one restaurant. We were to go and have dinner. Then I discovered that a bowl was brought, and the content of that bowl was blood, was made out of blood. So to us, the blood of a dog, the blood of a dog, and the people dip sticky rice inside that. That blood was blood and the blood of dog and pepper or chili. Yes. So
Pepper.
they'll get sticky rice with their hand, then they dip inside and eat. So to me, it was very awful. But after some time, I become used to it and have to accept that that is a part of their culture, and they grew up to maybe live to eat it, and it is normal to them. But I saw it as a cultural shock because I've never experienced that while I was growing up.
Well, I think that's a hard one. That's a harsh one. Let me stop. Let me interrupt. I think it got to go back to Ajahn Ek. Ajahn Ek, what happened to him? How could you treat him like that? Don't treat me like that, Naka. I'm going to scream. I'm going to scream. Really?
No. It's not in the university. It's in my former school that I left before coming to the university. That's what happened among some of my colleagues. So it was really shocking.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you. I would be shocked too, because I thought Ajahn Ek fed you that way, you know. Ajahn Ek, you don't do that to visitors.
Right? I'm very friendly to him, definitely. Yeah. อาจารย์สมิธได้สอนอยู่มัธยมมาก่อนที่แถวในเมืองบุรีรัมย์เสร็จแล้วก็ย้ายมาสอนอยู่ที่ราชภัฏบุรีรัมย์ได้2 ปีละครับที่พูดถึงน่าจะเป็นอดีตที่อยู่มัธยม I think.
Oh yeah. I feel for you, Sa. It's a culture shock. I'm so okay. What else then? What else is another? Sa.
Okay.
What else?
Another cultural shock is the way somtam is being prepared. With the use of crab. The crab has not been, maybe it has not been cooked, but just put the crab. Yes, just put in the mortar and pound. Yes, then mix with all the mixture and eat. So to me, it was some sort of a cultural shock because the crab was alive. It has not been cooked, but it is being consumed just in that process. So that is another one. I think about a lot of my cultural shock experience in Thailand is more about connected to food.
Okay, I think it's interesting because without the accounts from ZA today, we would take for granted that it's a part of us, but actually it's a culture shock. And I could see you can see that your classmates, having a good time listening to you. To your culture shock. We don't sympathize, but we enjoy, that hearing from you. Okay, anything else? One more thing. Can you think of anything else? Or that's it?
No, that's it. If there's any other, I would like to share it later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Right. Talking about culture shock, I was on the panels of Modern Language Association 7 days ago at California. And they asked me to talk about, the working conditions in the humanities outside the United States. So one thing I told them that be careful, because the way the Thai people consider discipline is defined differently from other corners of the world. And there was a BB, what do you mean by discipline in Thailand? I said, in Thailand, if the teacher said, students quiet, the students will be talkative. Am I right? They say, "Ngiap ka, ngiap ka." When the teacher say, "Quiet, please," the students will be very loud, very noisy. Am I right? In any context. But then one day the teacher said, "Okay, please speak up. Please speak up. Please speak up." What happens? The students quiet. Am I right? So I told,
Yes.
in California at that night that, I don't know, but I think I'm being honest that the discipline in Thailand works opposite to the Western mindset. If you ask them to talk, they will keep their mouth shut. If you ask them to keep their mouth shut, they will try to talk. More than that, they were trying to gossip about the teachers. Gossiping about the teachers is the most favorite topic for them. Am I right? For
Yes.
example, does Ajahn Zha have a girlfriend yet? Is he married yet? Is he handsome? Does he like Thai food? So Thai students are very nosy about international teachers in particular. So Zha, I'm sure that you have been through this stage before. You are the topic of attention, and you are the only one who attract attention, not Thai teachers. Am I right? Yes. So that's how Thai teachers, the international teachers need to know that the word discipline is defined differently by Thai students, right? Okay. Now, the culture shock. So Zha has been in Thailand for a while and he overcame that culture shock. So we try to make sure that students can adjust themselves to new environment and find a way to, live happily, right? So not only that, then we hope that they will become able to behave and communicate appropriately in multicultural situations, right? We hope that they can be a good, cultural ambassador. So now the next one. I think for young students, role play is a good thing, is a good activity. Now in this role play, I'm sure that this is how we can assess their intercultural competence. Because as I said, previous studies don't know how to assess intercultural competence, but introducing role play, you know how to assess their intercultural performance now. Now let's move on to the next topic then, right? I want you to watch the clip. And this clip, this video clip is taken from Joy Luck Club. I don't know, I love this movie a lot. Joy Luck Club is about what? It's about Chinese families who migrated to America. So the first generation migrated from China, and the second generation grew up in the States. So they were ABC, or what we call American-born Chinese. Of course, growing up with American cultures. I want you to observe, so don't just watch. I want you to take notes of how culture shocks or miscultural perceptions take place. There are many points in the clips that that miscommunication takes place, resulted from culture. And I want you, for example, this is going to apply to Yi Li Wang, who is also Chinese. How can it happen? And how can it be prevented? Have you finished watching the clips? You need more time to clear up your notes? Okay. Now, what the purpose of the job is that I want you to take a look at the clips and list down the points that where miscommunication takes place. And there are many points there, okay? Anyone wants to start? Anyone wants to start?
It's about the manner. Yeah,
Okay.
table manner. Yes. So what I recognize is when the Chinese woman, what is her name? Reese? No. Yeah.
No, it's a girl. Beverly.
Beverly, yes. And the
And
Rich
Rich
is
is
the man.
Yes.
Yes. And then he said is let's make second glasses of the drink, and I don't yes, but for the Chinese manner, we have to wait for another second glass if the other people on the table have the same second glass, like finish the first one first and then you can have the other classes. Yes. Yeah.
Right. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good point. Right. Okay. Let me go back to what, like you just said. Okay. Right. Rich was a little bit greedy in that sense, right? He didn't know the Chinese table manner. He finished his first drink in one gulp, that's it, right? Whereas the other just would sip little by little to enjoy the taste of the drink. But he just, took the little, finished one gulp in one drink. And then people looked at him. Okay, now, is this, Chinese tradition only that, you're not supposed to have a second class when the people are drinking the first class? Now, I had to go back to Yili Wang. What do you think? Would you still, this is the movie in the 1990s. Would you still consider this behavior rude at the table still?
Yeah, for the daughter, they are rude, impolite about their table manners. In traditional Chinese eyes, yeah, it is impolite.
Okay, so now it's confirmed that what your friend just said, that it's really impolite, right? Patanan just said, and it's okay. Good job. Today is a big day for Yili Wang because she's the target. Okay, so how about the others? Any other observation? Any other points? There are many, though. There are many. Go ahead. Anyone except Yili? Yeah, please go ahead.
As far as I'm concerned, I think that it's not okay to add some salt or some spices or something like that based on only on his or her taste or something like that. So at that time, it's a surprising fact for me. This is what.
Thank you. Now you got to understand something. The Chinese people are very modest. Okay. Beverly's mom, she's a very good cook, and she knows she is. But when she served her own dish, she wouldn't say that, oh, I'm a good cook, because the Chinese people are taught to be, so modest. So she said, oh, this dish is not salty enough. So it's good, because all people shouldn't take salty food, right? So this is what she means, that this dish is not salty enough. Now, this is not what Rich gets. Rich interprets exactly by words, saying that, oh, it's not salty enough. Why? Then I will make it more salty, right? Am I right, Yili Wang? Thank you. Thank you, Ong. Yili Wang, back to you.
Yeah, and we are just eat maybe so many salt. And maybe Thailand, I know that Thailand just like eat some sweet and hot dishes, but Chinese just like eat the salt, especially in the north of the country.
I see. Okay. Yeah, thank you. But as I said, like the Chinese people, even though they are smart, they would say, no, oh, I'm not that smart. Even though she's a very good cook, she wouldn't say I'm a good cook or I'm the best cook in the world. She wouldn't claim anything at all, because this is how we teach, Chinese are taught to be modest. You don't blow your own horns. And this is something that I cannot take it either, because nowadays, because of the social media, people self-advertise a lot on Facebook. See that? But I was taught, by my mom and dad that if you are famous, you are not supposed to blow your own horns. You're not supposed to advertise, say that I'm good, I'm great. No, you're supposed to be quiet. And then people will talk highly about yourself. That's what exactly how I was brought up. Okay, good point. Now we got only 2 points more. Anybody else? Please. Kun Patanan, Kun Ong, you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show now because you have done your turn. Kun Patanan is so happy now. See that? Okay, how about the others? The others? There are more. There are more than that. Rich has done a lot of damage already at that table. คุณวันชนะคุณซาคุณโรสคุณรสมนค่ะเชิญค่ะ anybody how about no the point that Beverly said that he brags that he's a fast learner. What happened when he claims that Rich claims that, oh, I'm a fast learner? What happened to him? Learning what? To begin with, learning what?
Learning how to use the chopstick. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. See, even though the clip doesn't say anything, but Beverly said that he brags. He brags that he's a fast learner. He didn't say exactly what learning what, but from the movie we say that he claims that he might have claimed that he is a fast learner of learning how to use chopsticks. Is it easy to use chopsticks for you, Azar? Is it easy for you?
It wasn't easy for me at first, but now I've been in Thailand for 6 years, so I can use it better than before.
Okay, good. Next time when I meet Azar at Buriram, we will have the contest, using chopsticks to get the peanuts from the plate. Okay, now you have time to practice. I'm not good either. I'm not good. So we are even in that case. We'll have a competition between Azar and I, to use chopstick to pick up peanuts on the plate from the plate. Okay. So in that case, you see, because go ahead, Ong.
After that level, you're going to catch a fly with the chopsticks. This is the next level.
You have gone too far. You have watched a lot of kung fu movies now.
Yeah. So we were very familiar with the kind of movies when we were young. Yeah, that's why I get an idea.
I watched that too. I watched it too. Catching a fly with the chopsticks. Okay, so he's a bragger, right? And that once he brags, he failed because he couldn't, flip the chopstick to get the food into the mouth. What else? Not all yet. What else? What is rude about Rich at the table? What more? At least one or two more. What else?
He take the food with the actually I think the Chinese table manner will take the small spoon of the food, but Rich take a large amount of the food. Yes, in one time. Yes.
Okay, today we have Miss Intercultural Communication, and that title goes to Patanan ka. She is Miss International Communication ka, right? Patanan is right. At one point you see that he was offered to take, the shrimp, right? And other stuff on the plate. And that shrimp is not expensive because it's a big shrimp. And he said, oh, good shrimp. And he takes a lot of shrimps. And that time, because he's a guest, so he was the first one to take the food. And he took a big portion of the food. And a lot of shrimps went into his plate, right? Is that something considered rude? Yili Wang, as a native speaker.
Yeah, it's impolite. It is a little selfish, and maybe she does leave the rest people to enjoy the shrimp.
Thank you. Yili Wang used the word selfish. See that? Rich probably didn't mean to be selfish, but the way he acts, it means that he is not considering the others, whether there will be enough portion for the whole table or not, right? So that's very selfish. Okay, now remember one thing when Beverly's mom said, oh, he has a lot of spots on the face. Okay, tell me about that then. What does it mean? What does it mean when you say, oh, he has a lot of spots on his face?
Yeah, blue collar worker.
Pardon? What did you say? Sorry.
Is he a blue collar worker or something like that? I'm not sure.
Oh, no. When Barry's mom said he has a lot of spots on his face, what does it mean? Now, don't forget that Beverly's mom came here to America as a first generation. So of course, her English is not really native like, right? Whereas Beverly grew up in the States, so she is native like. And that's why when Beverly mom said, oh, he has a lot of spots. Actually, it's not a spot, it's what? It's called freckles. You know what? He has a lot of freckles because Americans usually has a lot of freckles on the face, right? Dark spots here and there. So she doesn't know the word. So, oh, he has a lot of freckles on the face, right? Okay. Now, when Rich took a lot of portion, as Patanan just mentioned, okay, what did Beverly's mom say to her? She didn't say that Rich is rude. She didn't say that Rich is bad, but she says Rich has a big appetite. You remember this part? When Rich took a lot of portion and shrimp, and he said, oh, he must have a lot of big appetite. So now you can see that when people interacting at dinner table, a lot of conflicts took place between Rich and Beverly's mom. So that's why at the end, when Rich asked Beverly whether, have you discussed about the wedding plans? And what did she say? Bev said that, oh, we didn't even get to that part. And she wanted it to cancel even. Her mom wants to have it canceled even, right? Okay, so now I'm going to take you back to my slides. Hopefully it's still there. Okay, just a sec. Let me change to share screen and my slides. Right. So you see my slides now? Do you? Okay, good. Thank you. So just only, I think if you are interested in that clip, Yili Wang, you should watch it. It's a really good movie and it's based on a book. I read the book by myself and I want to read again and again and again. It has a lot of Chinese cards like playing mahjong, a kind of card. Mahjong, I don't know how to say it in Chinese though. Okay, now based on that, then what else then? So now you see that the dimensions here, like Beverly and Rich here, right? So we all finished that. The next part then. Now, the distinction between cultures in several dimensions. Language is different. Culture is different. Society is different. Therefore, you see that Rich will never be able to get married with Beverly. Will never at all. Why? Because he doesn't learn how to communicate appropriately with his, father-in-law or mother-in-law. And he didn't seem to understand what's going on at all, right? Now, let's talk about if you are interested in doing research on intercultural communicative competence topics. Then. First of all, I think if you are interested, you need to identify the scenarios that trigger cultural differences, okay? Now, this is going to be more challenging on you. Why? Because it depends on what you teach in class. If your lesson has something with, housewarming, then what, Azab said at the beginning about how to do housewarming party in Cameroon will be relevant. So you need to find something about the textbook that you use and see if you can take any points from that book to accommodate cultural communication. You see what I mean? Because it's impossible for you to write a new textbook. So what you can do is explore your textbook and see if anything that can take you from that textbook to the area of intercultural communication. That would be the best choice. Now, after you identify the topic, whether a housewarming gift or, shower baby party or whatever it is, then the next step is you construct a pre-test, right? Now, so this is going to be a pre and post-test research studies. Now, a pre-test on students' intercultural competence knowledge. For example, do you know anything about housewarming in America? Right? Or what do you do? For example, I remember that when I went to America, the new neighbor who joined the community will get chocolate. American neighbors will give you chocolate the first day you move in, to establish, that we are in the same neighborhood. We are friends and we look after each other. Why chocolate? I don't know, but chocolate or flowers are these two options, that they usually give to each other in America. So that would be something for you to explore, say, for example, how about in Thailand? Do you know anything about Thailand? Of course, the students might not know anything about, housewarming gift or house, the first they're moving to a house at all, which is good because it means that the pre-test scores of their intercultural competence is going to be very low, right? Low scores is good. It means that they have no idea, they have no knowledge. And then your treatment. Now, what does it mean by your treatment? Treatment means that according to Buriram's, remember 5 elements, remember? First of all, you cultivate their positive attitude. You give them knowledge and you have followed by, comparing and then others and others like that. But as I said, when you talk about the treatment here, you have to start from linguistic input at all times. And when I said linguistic input, I mean vocabulary. Now, back to your lunchtime assignment. I ask you to focus on one topic that might trigger intercultural communication. I haven't asked you what your topic is yet, but I'm going to ask you now. I want you to develop a lesson in just, in 3 minutes right now. What topic you want to do? For example, if you think, I want to talk about Go Dutch, but don't do Go Dutch, okay? You want to start with the word treat, right? As I show you a few minutes ago. If you want to have baby shower, you might want to have some vocabulary. Why shower? Why baby? If it's a first day you move into a house, in English, we call house warming party. See? There are terms for that. Babies, we call baby shower. Why shower? For birthday and moving to the house, we call house warming party. So everything is considered a culture because why? Housewarming in America and housewarming is not the same. Not the same in China and not the same in Myanmar as well. And I want to know what is exactly going on in your culture. So based on your topic, provide me at least 5 vocabulary that are connected to your topic, because I want to see how or what directions are you going to, right? And at this stage, you might want to give the students, the video clips to watch, how housewarming is celebrated, or how baby showers are celebrated, which can be easily accessible on the internet, right? Based on those vocabularies that you formulated. And then following Buriram, ask them to compare what you do in America and what you do in Thailand. And ask them which one they would like it to happen. If they have one, they have a baby, for example. They like baby shower in Thailand, or they like baby shower in America? Because in America, they're supposed to buy a lot of stuff for the babies so that the parents can be financially safe. Because all these items were given by the friends and families like that. So after all these things, the test, the post-test, now you can ask the students, do you know anything about housewarming parties? What are the main food? What are the chocolates? Or what are the flowers? What are the dessert they serve at the party? What drinks they serve at the party, like that? So, okay, now back to you. I will give you 10 minutes to work on my assignment. First, specify the scenario you want to focus on. Second, Give me 5 vocabulary or 5 words that you think are connected to your theme or your scenario. I'm going to look at the vocabulary and see if you have chosen the right words to begin your lesson or not. Okay, there you go. I will give you 5 minutes to work on that. Is it clear? If it's not clear, then ask me in the chat box, and I will be happy to address your questions in the chat box.
Dear Professor, do I need to just for activating the lessons and not all, just the first
Not
part?
all. It's just only like give me the topic or scenario, and then why you choose these 5 words to explore, because I want you to see the connections of your theme and the words you chose.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You might want to write on the slide, and you can share the slide so that you don't have to. Our friends can focus on your slide with your 5 words and scenario. I will stop sharing right now so that you can work on your slide and show me and share the screen with us. Now it's 15:04. At 15:10, I will ask you to talk about your homework. 3 more minutes. Okay, 1 more minute. I'm going to ask Kun Vanchana to do it, to give me first, because, and then followed by Kun Rosamon Naka, and then followed by Kun Thai ก่อนแล้วกันนะคะ followed by Kun Pathananนะคะ, and then Ong, and then followed by Yili Wang, and then our gentleman Za, right? Azza. Okay. Is that all now? Kun Thani ด้วยไหมคะ I can't remember. Is he in the same batch as you? Kun Thani is in the same batch as you? I
No,
can't
I'm
remember.
afraid I'm not.
No, I'm
Already.
afraid. The way he answer, very polite. No, I'm afraid I'm not. Thank you, Kun
อาจารย์
Thani
ธา
ค่ะ
นี
Okay.
อาจารย์ธานีนะ he is doing his PhD at Moscow, I guess. He is our regular participants.
Oh,
อาจารย์ธานี
really?
yes.
I noticed that. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you for the clarification. Okay. How about that then? Kun Vanchana, are you ready to present? Yes. Please
Sorry,
go ahead.
Professor, I have not finished. Can I have 2 or 3 more minutes?
Sure. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry ค่ะ คุณรสมนค่ะ Are you done?
I'm not sure I'm right or wrong, but I try, Professor.
Okay ค่ะ
So let me share. Could you see my screen?
Yes. Go ahead.
So for the scenario, if I choose moving a new house for the to be a scenario, yes, for the vocabulary words that we think about moving a new house are about clothing. When we have a ceremony, so we have to get dressed like the same. If in Thai, actually in Thai, so we like to use a white dress, and then the other vocabulary that I think about is the ceremony. When we have to move to a new house, we have just like a Buddhist like religion's ritual. Yes, you have to give her we have to prepare things. For example, like a jar of the rice or a jar of the water. It's like a belief that we have to be rich or to be happy, live happily in that house. And then and then we have a special menu or the food that we have to have in the moving ceremony. It's like in Thai, especially in my hometown, as we have to cook with like a noodle or like a food that have to like a noodle or like in Thai sen. So we have to like it means that we have to live longer or longer. And then after we have a ceremony finishing, so we have a party together within the family. So this is the like the idea about moving a new house ceremony.
Thank
you.
Can
so
you leave
much.
the slide here? Yeah, leave the slide here. Okay, for example, someone said there are 5. She's focusing on moving to a new house, and these are the 5 vocabulary items here. Okay, number 1, clothing. This is something for Yi Wang and Ong and also Azar, right? Clothing. She says, on this particular day, white color is preferred. Okay, that would be a good thing to mention. Why white, not other colors? When you say red is happiness, but for moving to a new house, white is preferred. A white dress, a white shirt, why white is preferred? That would be something to consider.
Yes, it's like a belief from the belief of our ancestor.
Yeah, but I can understand that, because white means that you start something fresh, something clean, something new. So white means that you start a new chapter of life, which is interesting because I never thought of white, because I am Chinese. That's why everything is red. As far as you are red, you are safe. Okay. Number 2, when you say ceremony, that's a very good word. But as I said, when you teach vocabulary, you've got to make sure that pronunciation is clear, the meaning is clear, right? So the word is ceremony, right?
Ceremony. Okay.
Right, the stress is on the first one, ceremony. Now the third one, special menu, right? Special menu. Right. So according to Rosamond, right, you're supposed to have some kind of noodles. And I think this noodle is something similar to China, right? They want to have noodles because noodle is a long thread. Yeah, go ahead.
It's in Thai, we always use like a yam woon sen or like kanom jin nam ya, something like this. So I don't know that how I explain to other.
Yeah, as far as it's something on noodles, because noodle is like a thread and it's a long, so it reflects the longevity. Right?
Long.
Bean thread, woon sen, or other stuff, which is, noodles. Next, religious ritual, right? Religious ritual. The monks get involved. Why? Sprinkle sacred water. The monks will come and sprinkle sacred water. That's what we believe.
Yes.
And then the party. Okay. So I think the words are okay, right? Because you can make a lot of connections and you can explain why, and you can explain by religious ritual like sprinkling, sacred water by the monk. Okay, good job. Thank you, Ka. Thank you. Next,
so
Ka, who is ready? Just jump in. Anyone? Okay. Anyone?
And can I try? Yes.
Sure. Matanan, you are Miss what? Intercultural communication today, Naka. You got the title, Ka, Mong Long Ka.
Thank you, Professor. Okay, I will share my screen. Okay, and so here's my scenario. So how to celebrate water festival. So I think it's a Songkran festival. Yes. So, and here is the 5 vocabulary. Yes. Okay, water splashing, respect, bathing, hometown or reunion, and Thai New Year. So first, I would like to talk about that Songkran festival is Thai traditional New Year. Yes, so it will held on April 13 to 15. Okay, and so I choose the hometown or reunion because Thai people will go back to hometown to reunion with the family. Yes, and then on that day they will go to the temple to bathing the Buddha image for the blessing, for the good luck for their life. And then after they go to the temple and then go back to the home to have like the food together. And then after they finish the food, they will go to visit the elder house for pouring the water into their hands to ask for the blessing. Yes, and also including the elderly in community. So okay, in my hometown, so I was born in the north part of Thailand, so I think it's very different from other parts of Thailand. So actually on the 15 April 15, we will go to visit our relative house to pouring water into their hands. I mean elders, and then asking for blessing. And when we visit that house, we have some special food like khao tan and khao khuap. Yes. And then after we finish that ceremony, and then we will have like water splashing to each other, so we'll get wet on that day. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Now let me see the slide here, right? So this is another ceremony, right? ใช่ไหมคะคุณมัทนันท์ This is another ceremony. This is another, because this is a typical mistake made by Thai people. We say they say ceremony, but actually it's a ceremony. Now, the Thai New Year is a sort of reunion, and because people go back to their hometown. Now look at, as I said, you've got to give them the right pronunciation on the very first time they exposed to the vocabulary. ต้องถูกต้องนะคะ hometown. ถามว่า what then people go to the temple to bathe the Buddha statues. To bathe, not bath,นะคะ, to bathe the statue. It's a verb, to bathe. And this is to show respect, right, for the elderly. But for people in general, they will have fun doing something called water splashing. Water splashing, right? Okay, good job ค่ะคุณมัทนันท์ค่ะ Thank you ค่ะ Next ค่ะ The next scenario, anybody?
Can it be the next one, Professor?
Sure.
Yes, and please allow me to that I'm gonna share my information through the chat box, Professor.
Okay, the chat box, right? Go ahead.
Okay, here it is.
Oh yeah, this is easier, chat box, right?
Yeah, because my PC that I use right now doesn't support that I cannot use the PowerPoint, right?
But this is a smart move.
Yes, let's start from my scenario that I think of the way to visit temples in Thailand and Myanmar based on my own experience. So I think of this. So the vocabulary that I'm going to show my student in the class start from monk or priest, kind of I'm gonna define the different meaning of these two words for them, and then take off the word that like an action that they have to do to visit the temples in that two countries. Chapeau. This is the main reason why I choose this scenario, because in Thailand and Myanmar it's quite different when you enter when we enter the temple, right? In Thailand we are allowed to wear to put on shoes and walk around the temple, but not in Myanmar. But especially in the chapel, we have to take off the shoes before entering, but not for Myanmar, right? For in Myanmar, you have to take off the shoes at the first step of when you enter the temple, especially the place that in Buddha images located. So the word the last one is allowed that I'm going to show in the classroom, Professor.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
thank
it.
you. So yeah, thank you. At the chat box, right? How to visit temples in Thailand and Myanmar. So when Chana wants to compare, right, the cultures pertaining to these scenarios, the monks may be the same, but what is the difference between Burmese monks and Thai monks? The yellow of the robe could be on, right?
Yes, the robe, yeah, the different colors of robe.
Right, because it's a different color, the robe of the monk, right? Okay, and then take off. Good. Okay, chapel. I think the word chapel, I'm a little bit hesitant because chapel has a very, Western connotation. I think in Thailand อุโบสถมันคือ ordination hall ถ้าเป็นอุโบสถนะคะ and that sounds better, right? Chapel is like American church, but if you say an ordination hall ก็คือ the hall for ordination ก็คือ we ordain the monks ระบวชพระในพระอุโบสถก็คือ ordination hall. Okay, Buddha images. Good. Allow. That's a good word because allow has a very difficult grammatical construction. Okay, to allow someone to do something. Okay, good job ค่ะคุณวัญชนะค่ะ Next ค่ะ Yeah, this is better, without the PowerPoint. Chat box is good. Anybody else?
Okay, let me try.
Okay, คุณอ่องค่ะ Go ahead.
So
here it is.
So the scenario I choose is how to take part in water. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. So how take part in water festival? Some vocabulary that I choose pre-teaches phrasal verb, throw something on somebody or pour water or something on somebody. And so what do you do at how you participate or take part in water festival? You throw water on each other. So for what? The essence of this throwing water on each other is to wash that dirty or the impure things away by the movement of the water. And in water festival, so we both do good deeds. Here, deeds is actions. We start the new year with good deeds. Yeah. And another one is Padaupa, is Gamkindo flowers. So it is along with water festivals in Myanmar. So these are some vocabulary that
I see. Thank you. I didn't know before that water festival in Myanmar means that you splash people with water to wash away the sins. I didn't know that. Sorry, because I thought that in Thailand, for the water festival, why? Because it was hot. And that's why we want to make it cool by splashing water. I didn't know that at all, really. So it's something new to me. Thank you, Ong. I didn't know that. How come? Well, thank you. Good job. Okay, ka. Next ka. The next one.
Okay, Professor, can I share the screen? Okay. Shut. Short one.
Yes, we got it.
Okay.
Achoo. Achoo.
Okay.
Huh?
So this is can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, this is a Cameroonian delicacy that can be eaten. Normally, it's due to modernity that we use modern dishes to eat it inside. But traditionally, you have only two things that you can use to eat achu inside. Either you eat achu in a bowl, in a wooden bowl, or you eat it in the banana leaf that you can see like this. So this is a topic that I choose to talk about. And then the vocabulary, of course, the achu itself, I need to explain to the student what achu is, then a wooden bowl, what means to bore a round hole, wash your hands, eat with the index finger. Because if you look here, you discover that the person is eating with the index finger. So from this perspective, after giving them the vocabulary, I can also now ask them maybe to come up with a Thai traditional meal that has a special way of eating it, in order to talk more about cultural awareness.
Well, I mean, achu is traditional dessert or what? Or food? Is it a dessert or food?
It is a traditional food, traditional
It's
meal.
a food. And what is it made of?
It is made
Not
from
egg, right?
It is, yes, it's not egg. It is made from pounded cocoyams or taro, pounded taro.
Taro.
Yes.
Oh, I
That
like
is
taro.
pounded. Yes, it's pounded in a mortar. Yes, and pistil. Use a mortar and pistil to pound it, just like they are mashing the preparation process of somtam. But this one, you pound a taro, then you can use limestone to make the soup from the mix limestone and red oil. Red oil is coming from palm tree. Yes, when limestone is mixed with the red oil, it gives a yellow color, and then others ingredients put inside.
And is it for any special day, or it's just any day?
It's any day. It's any day. It's a special delicacy, but you can eat it any day.
I don't think Thai food, there is no Thai food that can be eaten with only one finger. Is there any food that can be eaten with only one finger? Thai food? No. Even somtam or you jok, you use, the whole 5 fingers of one hand, right? It's not all, but you use only index and index.
Yes, you use only the index finger to eat it with.
What will happen if I use not only the index, I use the whole palm?
Well,
is that okay?
It's okay. It's okay. We don't make it a taboo for someone not to use it, but it looks impolite, and show that you don't master the culture of our community. But if you are a stranger, we don't have anything to do with you. We would rather just teach you that this is how it is eaten.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that, like if you use more than one finger, it's not good. It's quite offensive. Okay, yes. Interesting. Yeah. When we meet next time, we will have peanut chopstick competition. We mean the whole class,นะคะ. Number 2, we will try to eat achu with only index finger and see if anyone can succeed with, putting achu in the mouth with the index finger. I don't think I will win though. Maybe Ajahn Ek will win of this game with his index, putting the food achu in his mouth. Okay, Ajahn, you have a lot to do when I come to Buriram,นะคะ. Okay,ค่ะ. Next one,ค่ะ.
You may help me to stop the sharing of the screen. Thank you.
Okay.
Since
Yeah. Really wrong.
Yeah, Professor. And
oh, okay,
yeah.
thank you.
And here about also the housewarming in China. Maybe exactly it's not a house party, housewarming party. It is just a housewarming dinner or meal. Yeah, and here we can see that first when we move into a new house, we just maybe find a good day. And sometimes it's maybe some people will just ask for the fortune teller to find the good day for them. Yeah, and then just as what I said in the morning, in some important on some important days we just eat dumpling, and on some important days we also set off firecrackers. Yeah, and before moving the new house, we'll on this day we'll just set off firecrackers, and then we'll enter into the new house. Yeah, and we'll just buy a fish. Just means that we have enough money to spend. Yeah, and then we'll just the first meal we'll just cook on this day, cook at home. It means that we'll just maybe invite our relatives or friends to have a big dinner at home, not to go out to the restaurant or anywhere else. Yeah, and so in Chinese we just say it 暖灶. 暖灶 just means we use the oven to cook the meals for the first time on this day. And we also eat some sweet food because we can see that sweet food just means just maybe just means we have a sweet life in the future. Yeah. Okay, that's all.
Thank you. Well, that's very interesting that you want to have the sweet meal or sweet food. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Could you please stop sharing, please? Really wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, right. Almost the end, right? So back to my research topic or your research topic, right? So by following this some outlines, how to have a research topic on intercultural communication. I can see you have identified the scenarios and go over the Buriram suggestions, have the pre-test, you give them the treatment as suggested by Buriram, and then the post-test to examine the impact of the cultural lessons, particularly on sensitivity to cultural diversity. So I think that's, that could be a good project really, so that your students can, because as I said, right, previous studies are a lot, but there are no studies that have a measurement that assess and measure the impact of intercultural lessons, how to enhance the students' ability. So this is one of them. Now the last set of slides, conclusion, right? Now the conclusion here, what does it mean then? I want to say that ICC is very important, and maybe it's more important than the language even though you speak language with perfect pronunciation, perfect grammar, but if you don't understand the body language and the culture of that nation, communication doesn't work. So in this particular generation, we are encountered something called diverse multicultural society. And that's why our students in the students' generation, this ICC is even more important than our generation, right? So our job is to develop language learners intercultural competence, right? We need to develop that. This is the word of diversity. I think diversity is a key word of the 21st century, because our students have to be very mindful that we are not the same and everyone has his or her own identity. So we got to be able to accept diversity encountered in life through the language and culture. So the next one is positive attitudes. As Buriram says, right? Attitude is the first step. We got to make sure that our students have positive attitudes of any new culture, right? Then we also that after they master the attitude, they should be able to compare. We don't them to discard Thai identity. We don't want them to forget their being Thai. We want them to maintain their Thai identity, but at the same time, they can compare and contrast between Thai identity and Chinese identity, right? At the same time, they should be able to enhance their critical cultural awareness by trying to understand what makes it that way. Why wearing white on the housewarming day, and why wearing red on the Chinese New Year's Day in China, right? There are some reasons. The reasons might not be true or cannot be proved, but that is a part of the culture which is shaped by the society, right? Hopefully by doing that, our students will become very flexible communicators. They are ready to accept, and they also express their own identity in their own language as well. So the last slide here is, I said, we all here want to be the best teacher. I think we want to be the best language teacher, right? How can we be the best teacher then? The teacher who allows learners to understand relationships between their own and other cultures. If you are good in Thai, that's not enough. You need to understand how Americans, how Chinese, how Burmese, how Korean perform that way, right? And at the same time, be curious. Why red? Why 5? Why 3? Why Thai people like number 9? Why? Right? Whereas, you know, for Chinese people, they might like other numbers. Why? There are some justifications. So I hope that, you know, by the end of today, you can be a language teacher. But the language teacher, you can make a significant contribution to the world by improving intercultural. The question is, Ajahn Ka, there is no text that focuses on intercultural. Of course not, there is none. But as a teacher with the textbook in front of you, I'm sure you can explore beyond that. If you talk about hamburger, wow, hamburger is considered like finger food, which is a very good term, right? Finger food means that they are busy, they can work, and at the same time, they use only fingers without plates. And that's why hamburger was created. They use the bun at the top, at the bottom, the meat in the middle, perfect, because your fingers will not be messy with the bread. It's for Americans who don't have time. They want to grab the food and go. So it's very practical. Do we have anything like that in Thailand? Khao man gai lo? Nope. Som tam lo? Nope. Do we have anything like that? Something like finger food? Huh? What is that?
ข้าวจี่
นี่ไง คุณพัฒนัน She is going to be the queen of intercultural communication until the last minute นะคะ She said ข้าวจี่ค่ะ คุณพัฒนัน you are not central person ไม่ใช่ภาคกลางแน่นอนเพราะว่า the answers are towards that direction. Yeah, ข้าวจี่ What is ข้าวจี่ then? You have the rice, right? The rice paddy, and then you have the meat, right? On top, right? Is that it, right? Okay.
No, ข้าวจี่ is
sticky rice
with the eggs and then we grill ใช่ไหม grill ไหม
dip by egg and grill.
Yes.
Oh, see, almost all you know what tangji is except me ค่ะ Okay, good. นะคะ Okay ค่ะ So you see that now you can say tangji is also a finger food, which is somehow can be equivalent to hamburger. เพราะฉะนั้น don't say that your lessons don't contain intercultural communication. It does, and it's in your hand to pull it out and expand and explore to make it into another world and make sure that your students are little young cultural ambassadors. Good luck นะคะ with your studies and good luck นะคะ with อาจารย์เอก take care of อาจารย์เอก well นะคะ don't make him work too hard นะคะค่ะ okay thank you for being with me on this particular day. I know it's a big mess and I have apologized for the technology glitch, but I hope you learn something and be a best teacher in your own way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Feng. And I think we have learned a lot about the international cultural communication from your lecture, and it is interesting and insightful. And now, please, Dr. Akralama, to make a thankful message to you, to behalf of all of us. Thank you. Please.
Yi Li Wang, I think next time I would like you to call me Dr. Ek, like Dr. BB. I think it's not easy for you to call us the full name. All right. So thank you very so much, Yi Li Wang, for being a very professional MC. All right. You are a rising star of being the MC. All right. And nothing can change Professor BB teaching styles. Always like this, very active, very energetic, very lively. You cannot take sleep during her lecture. All right, I think that is the spirit of the teacher, just like that. I think all of you agree with me. All right, even if today is very special day for her, she should spend this valuable time with her family, but we interrupt her time by inviting her to give us a very special talk today. So sorry to interrupt your valuable time, madam. We really realize at the first day that today is very special day, Chinese New Year. So sorry for that. I will check it out again before inviting you next time for sure. And on behalf of the Ph.D. program in ELT, all right, I would like to thank you very so much our academic partners from different universities, Moscow and other universities, of course my Ph.D. student for their energetic participation in this webinar from the beginning until now. All right, and last but not least, I would like to invite all of you, please join me in giving her Professor BB a big round of applause for her wonderful lecture today. And I hope to see you in person at BAU campus very soon, Madam BB, Professor BB. Thank you so much. Please keep in touch and stay healthy. Thank you so much. See you next time on Science Online. ขอบคุณและสวัสดีครับ
Good luck. Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. See you next time. ขอบคุณอาจารย์ธนีด้วย and everyone thank you so much. อาจารย์รุษมน take care. See you next time. อาจารย์ปัทนานวันที่3มาเยี่ยมบุรีรัมย์เด้อ Everyone, we are going to have what is that progress report will be made by your senior friends on 5th.
Yes, I will
on
go.
3rd February at Bodana Hotel. I think that's very good time for you to learn something from your senior friends, how to present a progress report of dissertation. Okay, take care and keep in touch. See you next time. Bye bye. ขอบคุณครับ สวัสดีครับ